in solidarity and with complete empathy and love for people all over this planet suffering this global pandemic, the students from the University of Miami Art 315 class decided to take the longitudinal installation, which addressed climate change in 2006, as a platform to create the longitudinal installation addressing the coronavirus pandemic across the globe. And by reciting the quotes of 24 people across the entire 24 time zones of planet Earth, we are connecting, empathizing, and sharing our love with all those across our planet impacted by coronavirus. 0 degrees, Spain.
Doctors and nurses have arrived crying and exhausted. Ike Sarasola, president of hotel chain Roommates.
15 degrees, Switzerland.
We are in the midst of crisis, the worst to hit the Swiss economy since the Second World War. Guy Parmelin, economics minister.
30 degrees, Zimbabwe.
The world needs to know what happened to Zororo. They were not ready to admit him. Tawanda Makamba, older brother.
45 degrees east, Turkey.
I don't have a pension. I am not a state employee. I am not rich. I am a worker, a truck driver. If I don't work, I have no bread. I cannot pay the rent, the electricity, or the water bill. That's dying. Malik Yilmaz, truck driver.
60 degrees east, Iran.
I still expect him to come home at any time. Maida, wife.
75 degrees east, the Maldives.
Everyone says they want to be stuck on a tropical island until you're actually stuck. Olivia de Freitas, honeymooner.
90 degrees east, Tibet.
We are reducing spread statements that attack the party's religious policies on the information network, promote religious extremism and separatism ideas, incite the masses of dissatisfaction with the party and the government, organize mass incidents and series, and use the network to spread information about cults and feudal superstitions. TAR Internet Information Office.
105 degrees east, Borneo, Indonesia.
Singapore has a tight system, but even there, the virus got in. It's possible that there are infected people, but here in Indonesia, people think that it's only a regular fever or they think it's a dengue fever. Yusuf Kala, chairman of Indonesian Red Cross.
120 degrees east, the Philippines.
We are working closely with the hospital where the patient is admitted and have activated the incident command system of the said hospital for appropriate management, specifically on infection control, case management, and containment. We are also implementing measures to protect the health staff providing care to these patients. Francisco Duque, DOH Secretary.
135 degrees east, Japan.
Traditionally, Japanese companies have considered work to be something that only happened when their employees were physically in the building and that workers should put in long hours and lots of overtime. But that situation has changed. We are in a special situation, and they have begun to notice that employees still fulfill their duties without being in the office if the systems are in place. Shino Naito, senior researcher at the Japan Institute for Labor Policy.
150 degrees east, Australia.
Offering flexible payment options to all households and small businesses in financial stress, including small businesses eligible for the JobKeeper payment. Not disconnecting, restricting supply/services to those in financial stress. Deferring debt recovery proceedings and credit default listing. Waiving late fees and interest charges on debt, and minimizing planned outages for critical works. A statement of expectations, Prime Minister Scott Morrison.
165 degrees east, Micronesia.
We strongly advise all citizens against unnecessary travel to China and any other infected areas. President David Panuelo, Federal States of Micronesia.
180 degrees, Fiji.
Basically, the whole Pacific is in total lockdown. Makereda Komai, Fiji-based editor of the Pacific Regional News Agency PAC News.
165 degrees west, Nui.
These places don't have robust health systems. Dr. Colin Nukiangawa.
150 degrees west, Alaska.
We are working around the clock to try to figure out the ways to disrupt people's lives as little as possible. Dr. Ann Sink, Alaska's Chief Medical Officer.
135 degrees west, British Columbia.
I think it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to prevent a broad outbreak at any of the correctional facilities in British Columbia. Adrian Smith, Vancouver lawyer.
120 degrees west, Nunavut, Canada.
We know that this virus can have a really nightmare effect in our community, so we're trying to do everything we can. We had to take preventative measures because once it's in our community, it will spread really quickly just because of how the communities are set up. Merlin Restinos, mayor of Vanuna.
105 degrees west, Colorado.
We do acknowledge that the limitations in testing provides us with a lack of true clarity on what is happening. State Incident Commander Scott Bookman.
90 degrees west, Honduras.
We are all afraid and worried. There is no structure to stand a big wave of this virus. There is not enough food, no medical support, and to top, we are facing extremely warm temperatures that aren't helping. Karen Duvon, 23-year-old citizen.
75 degrees west, Peru.
People there are overwhelmed by the day-to-day. They have nothing. In addition, they are more of the street life, and many live on each one's same house. So if one of the in the family is infected, the problem is much bigger. Arati Amazaga Caritas, volunteer in Peru.
60 degrees west, Argentina.
Coronavirus stalks the slums of Argentina. Millions of people live in the so-called slums in the midst of overcrowding, lack of water, and the scourge of malnutrition. Albert Gilbert, journalist of El Periódico.
45 degrees west, Brazil.
I really hope this will help us prepare better for a worse situation. Attila Iamarino, 35-year-old microbiologist.
15 degrees west, Mauritania.
The national health system of our country is precarious and its capacity for the prevention and control of COVID-19 is insufficient. However, we trust that our country will continue to receive strong support from his Chinese friends in the face of this epidemic situation. Mohammed Old Ghazouani, retired military man and current president of Mauritania.
Thank you very much for participating in the longitudinal installation for the coronavirus pandemic on April 13, 2020 via web conferencing. In order to survive this pandemic and this virus, we must be vigilant, making sure that we stay safe so that we stop the spreading of the disease. And we must have an incredible amount of empathy for one another, as all of us are in this together. Thank you for performing this ritualistic installation.